The next resource I'm going to show you for technology is Prodigy. Prodigy is a math game that I incorporated into my math instruction a few years ago. So it falls within the topic of content area math because it can cover the Common Core standards and also technology integration. I did choose it because it is free, although if students want to persuade their parents can upgrade their membership, but it is free. It starts out free. It meets students at their levels so they can progress at their own pace. It reviews math standards and different topics, and it just helps me as a teacher to monitor what my students are learning in a different approach. Some of them do better in a gaming aspect than they do on their daily assignments. So the purpose for using this is just to check for understanding, to help drive my instruction to see maybe what I need to work on with them more, and then to see what standards they've mastered. So the audience is definitely my students, and within the standards, it would fall into ISTE.S.1c for students that says that students use technology to send feedback that informs and improves their practice and to demonstrate their learning in a variety of ways. So this is just another way for my students to show me what they know. For me as the teacher, I felt that it falls within two standards, which would be ISTE.T.2D and C. So C states that teachers customize and personalize learning activities to address students' diverse learning styles, working strategies, and abilities using digital tools and resources. And then D states that teachers provide students with multiple and varied formative and summative assessments aligned with content and technology standards and use resulting data to inform learning and teaching. So I can use this as a way to drive my instruction, and my students can use this as a way to show me what they've learned. So logging into Prodigy, you'll see right here where I'm ready to log in as the teacher. Up here is where the kids would hit play Prodigy when they are ready to play. So I hit log in, and it immediately pops up with my active classes. So right now I have one class, 17 students, and then you'll notice right here, this is the class code. So when the kids would hit play Prodigy on that home screen, that's the class code that they would put in. So I can view my class, and I think of the dashboard as the home page. So within the home page, the dashboard, there is a lot of information. I can see how many questions they're answering in class, which is shown with the green, and then how many are answered at home. I have a few students who are constantly on Prodigy at home. And then the part that my students are always most interested in, and I know the screen's kind of cutting that off, so let me move it over, is the top students of the week. So right now, Kylie's answered 192 out of 210 questions right. So then I can just scroll through and see how many they've answered. So you'll notice I've added a sample student to kind of show you some of their things. So then I can plan. I planned a multiplication fact review right here. It's upcoming, and it's going to start on Monday and end on Tuesday, just so that I could show you how to do that. So I could create a plan, and let's say when we come back from Thanksgiving break on the 27th, I want to cover, we'll just say 2D shapes. So then I would hit continue, and then I could type in the date, or I can go on the calendar and click what I want. So maybe I just want to cover it this week, these 2 days, I guess. Okay, so my plan has been created, got it. I can also create an assignment. So maybe we've talked about 2D shapes, and I want to see what they know. I don't live in Ontario. I want the Common Core standards, which is nice that you can select that. And then I can specifically see which ones I want to join, or want to include. So there are quite a few. So maybe I just want to start off with identifying 2D shapes. That's our first lesson. So if I look over here and kind of drag it, I can see an example of what the question might be. So do that. So we'll just say that's the first step. And then there's 3 questions. I can make up to more than that. I like to make an even number, so I might do 4. And then I can assign it to whatever students I want. So I can assign it to all of them, or I can assign it to just a handful of them, especially if it was something maybe I had to teach again to them, and I could go back and they can try this again. Or it's a great way to kind of differentiate instruction. Maybe I give the kids who need more of a challenge more word problems on theirs, and so I might assign that to 10 kids and then assign the other 7 kids 4 problems. So I can do that also. And then I would just choose a date that I want to do this. So I'm just going to end there. I'm going to create it. So that was also created. Another great tool is I can assign standardized test prep. So as we get closer to state assessments, I can set that up for my students as well. With under students, I can print off their login information. I can get parent letters so that parents know what directions their kids need to take in order to access this at home, which is something my 3rd graders beg me to do. And then I can also connect parents, so I can enter their email address and see. And you'll see 16 out of 17 because I have my sample student. Prodigy will automatically assign a username, but you as the teacher can go in and override their password. And so I use a password that they have for other things to try to keep it consistent for them. And then you can go through, there are so many reports that you can look at. The student usage report, which kind of shows on your dashboard their weekly activity, how much they're using, what you're covering. So maybe I want to look at a student to read, and I want to do the last 7 days. So I can see that he's answered 33 questions and spent 8 minutes, and he's 97% accurate. So on 3rd grade things. So it's great to see this. It's great to use for when I need to maybe provide more information to other teachers, or to kind of go back and just review what they're learning. So Prodigy is a great way to just supplement your content area math, and I highly suggest it because the kids are very, very motivated.